Breaking news, y'all. Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley are close to finalizing the deal to fight in London October 25th. This is being reported by Ring Magazine. Let me read y'all this article. It says the Ring understands that the two leading contenders are set to meet at London's O2 Arena on October 25th, a day after my birthday, in a clash between the WBO and WBA interim belt holders who are both currently promoted by Frank Warren in Queensberry. The bout would be streamed live on the Zone. WBO mandatory challenger Parker had been hoping to finally secure a shot at a two-time undisputed heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk next, but an apparent injury to Usyk means that will have to wait. But 33-year-old Parker, who's 36-3 with 24 KOs, who has just had 5 minutes and 17 seconds of competitive action in the past 17 months, that's not good, that's a red flag, has decided not to wait around any longer. He has instead agreed to take on the undefeated Wardley in what will be his first fight headline in London since his loss to Dillian Whyte in 2018. As reported by The Ring, the New Zealander arrived back in Dublin late last week in order to kick off his training camp with Andy Lee, with just 8 weeks until fight night. Wardley, who's 19-0 with one draw, 18 KOs, meanwhile, has been out of the ring since his dramatic knockout victory against Justice Hooney at Portman Road, Ipswich in June. Wardley was trailing 89-82 on two of the cards and 88-83 on the other when he knocked out Honey with a stunning right hand midway through the 10th. A week later, Wardley and his partner welcomed the arrival of their first child, a daughter, and the 30-year-old has spent time out of the gym as a result. But like Parker, he would now head back into camp as he prepares for what seems like one of the best fights that could be made in the division. The winner will put themselves in the front of the queue for a fight with Usyk, and there is still a chance that the fight at the O2 could be for the full WBO title anyway. The WBO ordered Usyk to defend against Parker last month, but the champions team requested an extension on the negotiation period, citing injury. However, when a video emerged on social media of Usyk dancing enthusiastically, the WBO ordered him to submit a medical prognosis on his condition. Should Usyk choose to vacate the title, or if the WBO opt to strip him of it, their interim champ Parker will be elevated to the full champion, meaning his fight with Wardley would be the first defense of his reign. The winner of the fight would then be in line for a 2026 showdown with Usyk, who could become a three-time undisputed heavyweight champion for the fourth undisputed champion by beating whoever emerges victorious at the O2 later this year. Now, I seen that video of Oleksandr Usyk dancing. I seen it on TikTok last night. Oleksandr Usyk is not injured. He's capping. He don't want to fight Joseph Parker. Now, why? I don't know, man. Listen, man, I think a lot of people need to put some respect on Joseph Parker's name, man. I think when people hear the name Joseph Parker, they still think about all of the losses that he suffered earlier in his career, you know what I'm saying? He got his first loss to Anthony Joshua. Joshua won by unanimous decision. His second loss was the fight right after the loss of Joshua, which was Dillian Whyte. He lost by unanimous decision. And then his third loss, he got knocked out by Joe Joyce in the 11th round, right? Now, when you look at what he's done since then, he beat Jack Massey. I don't know who that is. He knocked out Fega Opalu. I don't know who that is. He knocked out somebody named Simon Keane. I don't know who that is. Then he beat Deontay Wilder, right? That was Deontay Wilder fresh off of his third fight with Tyson Fury. Then he beat Zhilei Zhang, but he got dropped by Zhilei Zhang in that fight, but he won the fight by majority decision. And then he knocked out Martin Bakoli's fat ass in the second round, but we can't give Joseph Parker full credit because he was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois pulled out of the fight due to illness, just like Floyd Schofield did. And Martin Bakoli was a last-minute opponent that basically just came in with, I think a week's notice he took that fight. So I'm not going to give full credit for him knocking out Martin Bakoli, right? Now, Oleksandr Usyk is ducking Joseph Parker. But this is why you got to give Joseph Parker credit. This is a very dangerous fight for Joseph Parker, bro. Fabio Wardley is arguably the best boxer out of all of the young heavyweights. I would have him number one, right? Obviously, you got Moses Atamba, but Moses Atama is not proven yet. Fabio Wardley at this point, he's proven, right? He's pretty much stopped everybody he stepped in the ring with, right? He had that one draw against Frazier Clark, right? Many people thought Frazier Clark won that fight, so he ran back the rematch in the same year, by the way, right? Fought Frazier Clark last year in March. It was a draw. Came right back in October. Knocked his ass out in the first round. Bro, Fabio Wardley put a dent in Frazier Clark's head, bro. Put a dent in his head. Go back and watch the fight, y'all. He put a dent in Frazier Clark's face, bro, after he knocked him out in the first round. Then he comes back, fights Justice Hooney, where he was losing the fight. He was losing the fight on 2 scorecards. In the 10th round, knocks his ass out. Fabio Wardley is 30 years old, 6'5", you know what I'm saying? Joseph Parker is 33 years old, 6'4", right? Now, obviously, Joseph Parker has more experience, right? He has 39 fights. Fabio Wardley has 20 fights. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, bro. I think Fabio Wardley is going to knock out Joseph Parker. And I don't want that to happen because I think that Joseph Parker deserves to fight Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk, bro, you're 39 years old. You've pretty much done everything you can in the heavyweight division. You undisputed the cruiserweight division. You undisputed the heavyweight division twice already. I respect that. If you're going to retire, just retire. But after you just knocked out Daniel Dubois, you said that you don't have any plans for retirement, right? You're still in your prime. Obviously, you don't fight like you're 39. You know what I'm saying? But this seems like a setup, bro. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I think this is a setup. I think Usyk just wants to take the rest of the year off, which is understandable, right? He had 2 fights with Tyson Fury, beat him twice, even though they were both close fights. He beat him twice. Then he fought Daniel Dubois for the second time, right? I totally get Oleksandr Usyk wanting to take the rest of the year off. But if that medical report comes back and we find out that you're lying about an injury, Usyk, you're ducking Joseph Parker, and I'm going to have to go ahead and say that you're scared of Joseph Parker. I know that sounds crazy because it's Oleksandr Usyk, who is a beast, right? Definitely going to the Hall of Fame. I would say he's one of the best heavyweights of all time. Some people disagree, but I'm going to give him that credit where it's due. But Joseph Parker deserved to fight Usyk at the end of this year, man. And I hate the fact that he has to fight Fabio Wardley because I see Fabio Wardley knocking out Joseph Parker, bro. Fabio Wardley got brick hands, man. The guy is he's skilled. He has power. He's younger. He's 3 years younger, but he's younger. And I don't see this playing out well for Joseph Parker, man. Because if Joseph Parker loses this fight, he's going to lose his opportunity to fight Oleksandr Usyk. Now, I will say this. I do think it's good that Usyk is taking this fight. I do think it's good that Joseph Parker is taking this fight because Joseph Parker hasn't fought since February. He has to have at least 2 fights this year, right? You know, if he was to take the rest of the year off and wait until 2026 to fight Usyk, I think that'd be terrible because you don't want to have that much ring rust, right? But like I said, he could have took a fight. Listen, I feel more comfortable with Joseph Parker fighting Moses Atama than Fabio Wardley. Because Moses Atama is only 19 years old. The guy is a kid, like he barely has any professional fights. You understand what I'm saying? Let me see how many pro fights he has. Yeah, Moses Atama is 20 years old. He turns 21 in December. He only has 13 professional fights, right? Joseph Parker showed up to the fight with Dillian White and Moses Atama, and he made it very clear that if Dillian White won, that he would have wanted a rematch with Dillian White to revenge his loss, right? Dillian White lost. Why not fight Moses Atama? You know, it just goes to show, man, a lot of these dudes is scared of Moses Atama. We just got to call it what it is. Joseph Parker could have easily walked into the ring, had a face-off with Moses, and you could have fought Moses Atama. But instead, you're going to fight the more experienced Fabio Wardley, who has knocked out everybody he has stepped in the ring with, bro. And I think ultimately Fabio Wardley is going to knock out Joseph Parker. And I think at the top of 2026, we're going to get Fabio Wardley versus Oleksandr Usyk. And I think that's going to be Usyk's last fight. I don't see Usyk fighting much longer. He's turning 40 in December. No, he turns 40, I believe, next January. There's not much that... Oleksandr Usyk has nothing to prove. He has nothing to prove, bro. He's done everything. He beat AJ. He beat Dubois twice. He beat Tyson Fury twice. Obviously, Turki Al-Sheikh wants a third fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury. I'm uninterested in that. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't want to see a third fight between Usyk and Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury should stay retired. But yeah, man, I'm worried about Joseph Parker. And what sucks about this is like I said, he deserves a fight with Usyk. He deserves it. It's not his fault that Daniel Dubois pulled out of the fight with a week's notice because he had some type of illness over there in Saudi Arabia. That's not his fault. You know, he put him in there with Martin Bakole. He stopped Martin Bakole. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, tough situation for Joseph Parker. I just don't see this playing out well. But let me know you guys. Let me know your guys' prediction, man. Who do you think is gonna win this squabble? Who you got winning, Joseph Parker or Fabio Wardley? Let me know in the comment section. It's your boy Wavy. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video, leave a comment. I'm out.